Всем доброго дня.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. We'll start our roundtable.
Всем гостям спасибо, что пришли.
Thank you for coming and joining our roundtable. The topic today is digitalization and reality, e-commerce and basic trends.
Да, может быть, сегодняшнего диалога, беседы.
Maybe in order to start our conversation today,
Все понимаем, что мы находимся
all of us, we know
сегодня в
that
мире в
today
особой ситуации.
we have special situation in the world.
Видим просто грандиозные
From
меры
this
поддержки,
vector,
создания, в
we
развитии
see great support measures of internal IT solutions
как повестка к гостям.
as an agenda to the speakers. I think
Да, в том числе
we have
обсуждать именно конкретные механизмы
reason to discuss the
IT-компаниям, не
general
потеряться в потоке
mechanisms,
больших мер поддержки,
how to stay alive,
информационной поддержки,
searching for informational
бизнес-клиентов,
and financial
в том
support
числе
of
правильно
business
сформировать,
clients
может быть, эти запросы,
and
да, и
form
правильно
your
взаимодействовать
applications in the right way and interact with IT companies. My name is Alexey Borisov. Today I would be the moderator of the roundtable. I work in Rostelecom, Ufa, group of companies.
мы представляем сегодня здесь проект
Right now we represent the project of new digital transformation, a platform
бизнеса, его
for communication
и как раз
between businesses and IT solutions of developers and IT companies.
Позвольте представлю первого
Let me introduce the first speaker, Mikhail Azovtsev.
как раз первый доклад
The first speech would be connected to the support of the Russian software in the market. I think it's mostly about business IT. One thing to develop, to create a product. The second is to promote it in the right way, to be noticed. You can take the floor. Thank you, Alexei. Good afternoon. It's always a challenge to start after lunch. But today we will talk about money, so it won't be boring.
Для IT-компаний очень важный момент, потому что
No doubt, the financial support is a crucial topic for our developers. And usually when we have a product, we do not know how to promote it, how to form the tools of marketing. That's why we'll talk today about our new program of Russian Fund of
российского ПО.
IT development
Про что это?
in Internet.
Возможность получить кэшбэк
Briefly,
за
it's
ваши расходы.
the way to get cashback for your expenditures for promotion of your product. I'll start with the last slide right now. Here you can see two resources, our landing, marketing retreat, and Telegram channel. I'd like you to sign in for it because we'll have all the news there and also live conversation, because this program is implemented with the help of own money of fund. It's necessary from the point of view of legal sphere. So sign up, ask questions, you can criticize us because we love critics. Now I'll go back to the first slide. What would we talk about? We have two main aims, and our value is represented not only in financial support for IT companies, but also to provide the tools, instruments of promotion which are popular in the market, which are in trend right now, to pack their product and to be visible on the market, and the clients, the customers to see you and buy it. That's the thing which we would like to do. The second, for whom? If you work in IT sphere, so your acquired code is 6263. So you can promote your product or service. Maybe you're the company owner of Russian software registered in Unified Register.
свое ПО.
so you can promote your software too. About limitations among the participants of your legal entity,
Так называемых недружественных стран.
there would be no unfriendly countries. That's the only
Что компенсирует
case which could prohibit you to enter it.
До 80%.
As for the rest, it's the expenditures for your promotion. Not more than 25% of your income. You can use the program several times during the year. For each
Где должна быть реклама?
service, for 1 million,
Списке это
where would you get the promotion? You can see on slide all our partners, mass media which work with us, and not only in business segment, but also in IT sphere. Yandex, Kontakte, Vedomosti, MyTarget, RBK, ComNews, CNews,
у нас достаточно много площадок.
etc. So we have a lot of platforms you can choose,
Можете рекламироваться
any of them. You can make the promotion by yourself or could use professional agency. We have 22 agencies
информация о них также на нашем сайте.
which are registered. The information is provided on our website.
С какой-то
So
целью.
you make an application to the agency, form your task,
На такой
you go, for example, for half a year, promote our product on one of the platforms. They send the application and also for reimbursement of your expenditures.
То есть они входят в этот
Also, the percent of which the company will take can be reimbursed too.
первое. Вы получаете
It's a simple way to work. So you started the information.
томов и большого объема.
It's quite short and easy to study.
Проверяете, соответствует ли ваш продукт
You check if your product meets the criteria which I've mentioned before. Then check your shareholders.
проводите рекламную кампанию.
If everything is good with your program, you can promote your program on our platforms,
Очень важно. Мы специально
partners.
сделали новые услуги на портале
Right now, you could use
госуслуг.
Госуслуги
Я не обещаю, что
or one of the services.
два, но, скажем так, в 3-4 клика вы вполне заполните,
Spending some time, you can apply
подаете.
for a program in 15-20 minutes.
Соответственно, вы получаете кэшбэк.
They check it within 2-3 weeks.
Порядка 75 заявок
Currently, we have received
порядка 50 компаний.
more than 75 notifications,
В данном случае не очень
and
правильное слово, потому что здесь нет конкурсности, и скорее все те, кто
30 of them were already accepted
имеют право на кэшбэк.
just because
Так, участники
they meet all the criteria.
вот эту всю процедуру и получили деньги.
Those participants who
Порядка 50 таких компаний.
have already received money back. We have at least 50 companies who
Кто прошел отбор,
received this reimbursement. We have all the information, what company, which product do they have, so you can ask questions directly to us or to that companies, whether it was difficult or not.
да, вот это метрики на текущий момент,
Here you can see the metrics
пока я здесь.
up to date, but still I could say that the number has
430 уведомлений.
changed.
Перед тем, как направить
What about 430 notifications? Before getting cashback, you can send a notification on
необязывающая история,
your wish to participate. Of course, you can skip this part just because it doesn't mean that much. But for us,
спрос на программу
we need to understand what is
мы могли рассчитать
the order, how popular is it, in order to understand
400 миллионов рублей.
how to implement it in the right way. Just because for one project we have at least more than 1 billion rubles.
Предложение с нашей стороны.
If we can cover
Если вы участвуете,
your ideas, your wishes. So if you take part in our program, we'd like to receive
на текущий момент
such notification from you. Currently, we have more than 400 notifications for more than
4 месяца мы это собрали, но видно, что действительно
360 million rubles. So we can see how popular the program is and what are the perspectives of it.
Песочницы,
The
наверное,
program is implemented like a regulatory someplace. Some of our hypotheses should still be confirmed. Not everyone uses online promotion right now.
иные меры маркетинга более
Some of the companies prefer other measures of marketing. Or maybe we didn't meet the average price for it. That's why we need the feedback to make the program comfortable for you and profitable too. So the second value, or maybe the first, we could call it the first, is
площадок
to promote and to give the best practices from our platforms, from our company, marketplaces, how to do it
коллеги
in the most effective way. So colleagues,
задавать нам вопросы.
I will claim once again,
Спасибо большое.
sign for our Telegram channel. Thank you very much. I think I have met the minutes.
Проговорю Азовцев
I
Михаил.
will tell once again, Azovtsev Mikhail,
Российский фонд информационных технологий. Вот
Russian
коллеги в зале
IT Development Fund,
небольших
Alexei
вопросов. А есть
Mikhail Azovtsev, Chancellor of CEO of Russian Information Technologies Foundation. Are there any representatives who have already sent the notification, the application to it? Are there any representatives of IT companies here today? Could you please raise your hand? More than 20 people, that's nice.
у вас сейчас есть вопросы
Maybe you have questions,
да,
especially for the representatives of IT sector, about entering the program, or we have the question too. Why don't you use this story and promote it? Maybe you have your opinion or
Да.
commentaries on it. Thank you.
Да, как кэшбэк,
Yes, as cashback
налоговый вычет, может быть.
or maybe tax reimbursement.
Да, рекламную кампанию провели, вы
So
потратили
you conduct promotion, advertising, you summon money, also all the documents, and showed screenshots that
чего-то другого.
this
Направили нам,
promotion
смотрели,
exists.
принимаем решение, если все.
You send it to us if we meet all the criteria, so we pay money back.
Да, да, реклама на этих площадках.
Yes, the advertising
Да, почему эти площадки
within these
важно было?
platforms. Why them? When we registered them,
Ежедневные, что есть.
we checked the traffic, open prices for advertising in order to check it and check your expenditures too.
Да, спасибо.
Thank you.
Еще вопросы?
Are there any other questions? Thank you.
маркетинговым агентством, кэшбэк, получается, вернется в
So
маркетинг.
cashback will go to the marketing agency. If we do not do it by our forces
Вот здесь
on our own,
Да, спасибо за вопрос, понятен.
what is the strategy here? The money goes back who
Если вы работаете по
spend it in fact. For example, if you make a prepay to your agency and this agency sends the application and attach all your expenditures, all your documents, so they will receive money and they turn them back to you. So this scheme is presented on your website. Yes. We can talk in private about it and I'll explain it in details. Thank you.
IT-компаниям
So I call for all IT companies right after the roundtable to interact with Mikhail and ask questions. So we'll go further.
Руслан Рустемович Шамихаметов,
Ruslan Shemkhametov,
представитель фонда содействия
the representative of Innovation Assistance Foundation, the Republic of Bashkortostan, will talk about the problems and support of the projects in the sphere of IT. Good afternoon. I see that right now we have the format with including questions, so I'll try to make it brief and then answer the questions. I wanted to ask whether there are someone who doesn't know about this program.
So it's the oldest institution in Russia. It's presented everywhere. If you are dealing with innovations, it's the first organization you should address to for financial support, for grants. And these are the programs of the foundation. They're made in a type of a venture scheme and finances and growing of existing companies. And from the very beginning, starting with a young man with an idea, or there is a start, or the company is working on the market, and there is possibility for development and to win the big grants. So this program, the so-called Smart Guy, we have today 19 Smart Guys, so they are winners of this year. They will be awarded here after this event. You can physically touch them and ask them questions how they reached this success. So this program exists for people from 18 years. The idea, the main criteria is burning and a sparkle in the eye and an idea. If he wins in this not really complicated criteria, he will get 500,000 tax-free as a physical person, as a natural person. And he can give this money to scientists, go to business trips, spends on his own upbringing. And this program is a very interesting program. But this year we have a new serious competitor to this program. We have a student startup. So we give 1 million ruble grant for a student, for a university student. The age is not really important. So formally he must have a student's ID. And the grant is given so that he can open an enterprise to show that he can run a business. And we also added the creative technology direction here. Today, this year, we have 1,000 people across the country, and in Bashkortostan, it's 50 people. So we take the third place Russian-wide. In 2 weeks, there will be open application for next year, so there will be places for everyone. But from my experience, I can tell you that there are not a lot of people there. There is a contest, there is a program. If you have a good quality idea, you have very high chances for winning. Then the program starts. The application is given on the stage of an idea, actually. Then it is considered. Maybe you have some workout, some plan. Maybe you have a scientific supervisor. After this idea is supported, he creates a legal person and gets the grant. And he can spend this money. Usually it's salary for employees or purchasing some necessary equipment. And for the next year, there is 15 million, chances to get 15 millions, and so on. So all in all, totally you can get 24 million of grant support according to this program. Next program is called commercialization. So it's something that you have an idea you want to implement, and the program of development. You can get 1 million, up to 20 million for the support of the new development. All these programs. So we're speaking about digitalization, right? So it was the same about the digitalization, and I hope it will be. How it will be in the new year, you will ask. This year we had a lot of volume. It was separately 4 billion rubles of finances. Next year we have 17 billion rubles. And for digitalization, it will be a bit less. Instead of 4 billion, it will be 1 billion, but nevertheless, the programs will exist. And if you have an understanding of what you want to do in this direction, formulate the idea, prepare it, there will be contests. You don't need to actually wait for them in the field of digitalization. You can apply for any kind of grant contest. if there will be additional funds on behalf of Ministry of Digitalization. And the platform of university entrepreneurship, if we have active students, we have active educational programs in all universities. We also have them in the internet, on the platform of NT and MFT. From Moscow, they have separate programs. We have a university startup studio in Ugandu. You can come there as a student and find a job in an existing project, or you can offer your project, and they will help you to pack it, but it won't be yours. But you will be working there, but the finance will be given by the startup studio. So probably that's it. It's better to move to the questions, so that IT specialists, they're very detailed people, you know, so they would probably have questions. These are my addressing details, so you can contact me for any questions.
Ну, здесь поподробнее.
So I would like to say in more detail. So for SOFRI, yeah, you can. Yes, it exists for a long time, 3 years already, and in our republic, we don't have the best indexes in comparison with other regions. If you ask my opinion, why is it so? I am in contact with IT companies, and I can tell you my own opinion. You can object it, of course, but just because these companies work for a certain custom order, for a certain custom client. In innovation order, it must be a repetitive program, kind of a box decision. But it's my opinion, so that our IT companies, they have a lot of orders from corporate clients, and entering this innovative market, creating some products or platforms, is a kind of a next stage. Let's think about it together, how we can be of help here. We need kind of a concentrate of companies and brains, so that we can give this idea as an idea of development. So the way I see my role is just to consolidate the society and to highlight some certain topics that can be applied for grants together. Yes, thank you. It's very important. Colleagues, do you have any questions? Just a couple of them. Good afternoon. I have two questions. First, so intellectual property remains at the person, right? Because if we open the neocro, you can open it up to the limit you're not afraid of. There's a kind of a compromise there, honestly. It's the usual story when you make a patent. You have to understand how to make it correctly. So intellectual property stays with the developer. There is a requirement that when you register this intellectual property, you have to indicate that it was made with the participation of grant of Sadisty Foundation. And the second thing is the form of report. It depends concerning the program. So there is informal request in certain programs that you have to know how to build an enterprise. If we speak about START and the rest of the programs, the report is a classical report that you create, and you make a scientific and technical report, and of course financial. After you receive big grants, after 5 years, I mean for the development, within 5 years you have to send report on the increase of your yield and the number of workplaces. But yield is kind of a thing that you want to indicate in the business plan that you want to get the grant. If this doesn't happen, it doesn't lead to the return or refund of the money, but you have to analyze the reasons why it happened. Usually, the companies supported by the fund, they keep growing. If we take all the companies together, their total yield is more than the market, even including thanks to the support of our foundation. Thank you. You have any other questions? Good afternoon. My name is Nikita. I'm a student of Petroleum University. If the patent was formed with the participation of the educational establishment, so the rights belong to the university, but the idea was to the student. Will there be any problems? How do you like it yourself? Since the institute helped to form the application, look, everything depends on the contest. If it's the smart guy contest and you got the grant, you have to form the intellectual property on yourself. It's the common story, you know, who pays, that the one who owns, you know.
В данном случае вы по умнику получили грант от фонда содействия.
In the smart guy program, you received as a physical person, as a natural person. Is for some reason the proprietor of the right became the university. You have to explain these reasons. It's kind of a strange story, but you can
И работы, и затраты, но это как бы
maybe you can you simply doubled the work and the expenses. Why the university became the owner of your idea of your development? Why you didn't write off the apartment to the university?
вы должны
If you need to pay something to the university, then you have to pay, of course. So it's better to buy out the idea from the university and to form it on myself. If this idea belonged to the university from the very beginning, of course you have to find a kind of a compromise. You have to agree with the university. You have to speak in details in certain case why the university is appropriate of this.
университету приложить.
If the university wanted to commercialize it, then you have to offer the form of commercialization. If it happens within the framework of some grant contest, then the question is how it turned out to be this way. How could you, inform about someone else's intellectual property as your own? So we have to solve it in a single case. So another question, for the student startup, there's 1 million. And let's say I spend 700,000 and I have 300 left. Shall I return it? No, nobody will ask to return the money or to refund the money. Ideally, you are entrepreneurs, and you have to think how to spend this money correctly. So if this question with the report, if you are the winner, you will be explained in details how you can spend it and how can you report it. It's quite easy,
Там есть конкретный вопрос.
but there is a certain question, and you have to work with them. Thank you very much.
Консультации проводятся. Вы
And we give consultations. Are you a member of some group or something? Yes, tomorrow we have consultation in Bashkir State University. In the new, Ufa University of Science and Technology. Yes, they help. They also help in universities, and we also come there. And, yeah.
Спасибо за вопрос.
Thank you for questions, Ruslan. Thank you for the answer. Let's move on.
Представлю следующего спикера.
I will present next speaker, Lavrov Andrei, Deputy CEO, Manager of Industry-Focused Digital Technologists of Green Atom. And Andrei will tell us about the integrative atom industry. Yes. Good afternoon, colleagues.
Так, а можно? Работает, да.
Yeah, it works. Look, briefly, what is the state corporation Rosatom? Rosatom has 250,000 employees, first place in briefcases, first place. Of course, I'm speaking in a worldwide.
Корпорации вертикально интегрированная.
So it's a huge corporation, vertically integrated. We comprise practically all spheres of business and economy. Besides our major atom generation, we have windmills and nuclear medicine. Practically everything that we can think of, we try to develop. One of the aims of strategy of State Corporation of 2030 that we formulated some time ago, it's the achievement of technological leadership in the world, including informational technologies. And to fulfill all these ambitious tasks, 13 years ago, we created Green Atom. It was created as a corporate center for servicing state corporations. We received all the personnel management, document turnover management, and IT. So at that time, it was quite a revolutionary idea, but over the course of 13 years, we came to the following figures. So we service 170,000 employees of the field. More than 7,000 employees work in Green Atom, and 2/3 of them are IT guys. We are present in 33 cities. We have 18 branches. So if we speak about IT and digitalization, so we try to support the systems that were already implemented or were being implemented by some external integrators. And it was about 70% of our activity if we speak about IT. And by 2022, we gradually rethought about ourselves. We collected competences. And today, by 70% of our activity is aimed at the development of software, implementation of Russian solutions, and rendering services, including digital services, based on local solutions. In order to do that, we also had to change inside, and we formulated the aim 2025 for ourselves. It's a strategic aim. It means that by the end of 25, the 70% of the projects we implement in the sphere must be done only with our own forces, and to use about 90% of Russian or our own software during the implementation of these projects. How we decided to do that? We create a center of competence. Of course, within 13 years, we had recently the birthday, so I'm a bit mixed, 12 or 13. When we started, we didn't have this aim, but nevertheless, over the years, we gathered a lot of expertise in accounting, in implementation of systems, on taxation, on personnel management that we can implement in our products. And for these reasons, we created Center of Competence. I will not repeat them. In 2023, we plan to open around 15 centers. Right now, we have 10. Next year, we plan to open 5. Why? What is the aim? Why do we do that? What is the aim of this transformation? To implement our own decisions, our own solutions that are not import-dependent, so to say. Today we speak about technological independence or increase of technological independence of the field of economy, but also as a country in general. But we have a certain result right now, 73 products. It's not only Green Atom, it's just total number of products, but Green Atom is kind of a center for that. 80% they are probated in the field. So what is the benefit from the IT perspective? It means that we can develop something and implement something, but we can test it practically on any kind of economic activity that we have in Green Atom. So it's a kind of a small country inside Green Atom. So if we find mistakes, we can correct them and implement them in the product. So here's the list of products. I will not repeat myself. Some time ago, I mentioned about import independence and technological independence. We had this task in 2018 or 19 when the state started to think about it. And we implemented, and we're still implementing, some huge clusters of projects. The first cluster is typical infrastructure, where we substituted practically all the solutions for Russian solutions. Among them, these corporate mail, management of databases, our own cloud, protected cloud, where all the systems turn around. And of course, there are some infrastructures, and we have workplaces. We did the same with workplaces. Right now, around 82,000 workplaces are import substituted. We installed Linux and my office. Of course, if we speak about the browsers, it's Yandex browser. So that's the result of import substitution. Of course, when we develop the product, we have to think about the security, the safety. This year was kind of a difficult, and both for security and import substitution, and we made the following step. From DevOps, we moved to DevSecOps. So we developed our own system of development of software that is used practically
при создании любого нашего продукта.
when we create any kind of our product. It's automated system that checks the code,
Внутреннего нашего
despite whether it's internal or external library. So we also created the GitHub, not to depend on anyone.
Соответственно, вот с помощью этого
So with the help of this, we create the solutions that are already checked. They have no faults, and so it all corresponds to the measurements of security. And we created a portfolio of products, of IT solutions in Green Atom. Not all of them are here presented, of course, but we can divide them into different
решений, которые сами
ways, different directions. So we created like a personal account of the employee, or access to corporate systems, distant access.
того, как началась пандемия,
In 2018, before the pandemics, we launched a project for those people who travel a lot, so that they can have access to our systems for document turnover, to accounting systems.
и когда, соответственно,
And when
2020 год, мы
2020 came, we were more or less ready, but we need to large scale it. At that time, it wasn't the pure Russian solution, but we're moving to input substitution, of course. But workplaces work with the personnel. Right now, we have a product as personal account, where any employee on his personal PC, or we have a mobile application right now, where he can, using his mobile phone, can create application for business trip, for holiday trip, for holiday, sorry. So I may not be in the office, I can do it using my laptop or my phone.
никуда мы не деваемся от
So
перехода от решений зарубежных из тех вот
we use the same shift to the solutions abroad that Mikhail said in the beginning, when you said about the unfriendly countries.
Соответственно, мы переходим на российский
Accordingly, we'd like to choose Russian solutions. That's why
создали
won't we create our own solutions? That's why we have decided to develop our own
стек под ним.
program.
Замена с API. Или,
It's the substitute for sub-PI.
реализовали несколько
For example, we also have RPA platform. It's a system of
ну, для рабочих
automatic migration from input to Russian solution. Or Atom Rita. I won't tell about the significance of RPA. When we introduced these program robots, we saved several dozens of millions.
думаем, ну, если мы
It's quite profitable. If we made it on foreign solutions, why not to make it on our solutions? That's the way how we created Atom Rita.
у нас
You can see
есть девушка, которая
why it is called like that. We also have a joke. We have a woman. She works, she manages this program, and her name is Margarita, or Rita. That's how it was called. Today, we signed a contract with Xhol to switch from foreign to our solution.
кстати, по поводу наших еще решений хочу сказать,
Talking about our solutions, we have My Voice,
практически продвигаем достаточно давно.
which we promote
Но нас к этому
for quite long.
зарубежного решения
But before, we were motivated by one of the foreign solutions before. It's the cloud of tax,
собственно,
for instance.
мы опять же не создать свое. И
We have decided why
с нуля мы написали,
shouldn't we do something
который сейчас используется
personal own.
государственными
And a lot of state
потому что медиа заблокированы.
institutions are working on it right now. Just because some of the signs, some of the accounts are blocked on other
Но я про наши
programs. Also have
вижу, Алексей смотрит на часы.
platform of remote services, but I see that Alexei is watching on his
Собственно, наверное, в этом всё.
time right now. That's why I think that I should stop.
Очень интересно, Андрей Станиславович.
Quite interesting. Thank you very much.
Тайминг.
We need to meet our minutes. Are there any questions, dear colleagues? Just I want to ask a question. How can I apply for a job in your company? That's a nice question.
Не, на GitHub, смотрите, GitHub
As for GitHub, it's corporate,
занимается разработкой
only for those who are involved into development within state corporations, the companies which are involved into state corporation. GitHub, GitLab,
Неважно.
we can truly say that our internal GitHub is GitLab. We
Мы там посчитали, что условно до 25
have quite big employee range, and we realized that we need 2,500 IT specialists right now,
компаниям, которые
only for our basic companies which are involved into IT.
задачу, мы пошли,
In order to find the solution, we even went to schools
мы стараемся внедрять
just because we want to change the programs there to make
знакомые с нашими
students be ready for working in our companies and be acquainted with our company and other IT companies. We work with Sirius right now too. We changed the program there. We work with basic universities where our employees change programs and even teach.
напишите мне на e-mail.
You can just write to my email and get the job. Yeah. Is that the right mechanism? Yes.
Не подумал о том, что могут спросить меня.
I didn't include email, didn't think that you'll ask for it.
Условно, aslavrov@rosatom.ru.
Maybe if you'll write for the main email of Rosatom with my name, you can reach me.
Скажите, пожалуйста,
Andrei, could you please tell your developments?
имеют ли лучшие аналоги в этих же
Are there better substitutes
или еще что-то?
for HR, maybe?
Или все-таки ваши лучше, чем подобные вещи на рынке? А если
Or even
не лучше, то как вы боретесь
other specters,
компании?
or your developments are better than the rest? If there are any
Тех, которые уже готовы на рынке?
solutions which are better than yours, how do you struggle with them?
Руслан?
What's your name? Ruslan. Of course, when you ask if my product is the best, of course I'll tell that mine.
Лучшее решение.
Because when we do something, we try to reach excellence in it. As for HR programs, there are no substitutes. There are no solutions apart from foreign and ours. That's why we develop our own product, because we have no competitors.
Ну, это
We
следующее.
plan to enter the market the next year.
Корпорации смотрят,
Right now, we try to introduce it into the state corporations and see if we have any casualties.
разрабатываем, а что
If we do not design something, of course, we search for best solutions
возникает.
which exist.
Какое-то решение выбрать, у нас есть
In
архсовет.
order to choose the right solution, we have a special committee
То есть у нас
which is involved into
плохое решение, не лучшее на
our activities. That's why we cannot choose something that is worse than our product on the market.
Сейчас
Андрей?
речь идет про ПО САП.
We talk about sub-software.
Вот хотел
Yes.
спросить.
I wanted to ask about it. I know about Green Atom, that it's included into SAP. What are the perspectives of SAP in Russia, especially for Green Atom? What's your name? Shavkat. Shavkat. As for the perspectives here in Russia, you need to ask this question to SAP.
Да, действительно, у нас есть решение.
As for us, yes.
На продуктах это
Actually, we have a solution on the product of this producer.
до какого-то момента их просто не существовало других. То есть это
Recently, we have developed it. Previously, there was nothing. Those domestic solutions which we have on the market
не дотягивает до этого.
right now
В целом стратегия, ну, мы поддерживаем.
need to be developed further.
Это одна
We support it. We continue to support it. It's one of our
потому что, опять же,
strategic goals which we have.
мы не только в России.
We are working not only in Russia. We design not only for Russia.
Во многих случаях заказчик
Unfortunately, the customer insists on his or her solutions.
автоматизации сооружений.
For example, on the process of automatization
Спасибо
of
большое.
erection of buildings.
Андрей, спасибо за ответы. Мы
Thank you
благодарим.
very much for questions. Thank you for the answers.
Представлю следующего
I
спикера.
would like to introduce another speaker, Kirill Poletayev, Head of Information Technology Development Association in the Republic of Bashkortostan, will talk about the input substitution in practice. Thank you.
Да, еще раз добрый день,
Good afternoon,
уважаемые коллеги.
distinguished colleagues. Today, I would like to present you my speech about the Association of Development
О нашем вкладе
of IT in Bashkortostan and our dedication to the development of organization for state
появилась наша
corporations and the history of our association too.
компания Ford Dialog. Почему?
I'd like to tell some words about Ford Dialog. I'm CEO of Ford Dialog too. It was founded in 1989. It's one of the biggest system integrators in the Republic of Bashkortostan. Our team
Компания Росатом.
cannot be compared to Rosatom, but as for IT company for the Republic, it's quite good. 350 employees. The turnover is 4 billion rubles.
33 лет, то уже достаточно большой
Within our existence for 33 years, we have good experience in interaction of different companies from oil and gas industry and also state institutions. Annually,
крупнейших систем.
Ford Dialog is included into top list of integrators of the Russian Federation. With the Ministry of Digital Development, we decided we should boost the work of IT companies here and found the Association on Development of IT Technologies. We signed the agreement in 2016. Right now, there are 16 companies involved into it. Their turnover is more than 16 billion rubles, and more than 6,000 people are employed into them. It's a great opportunity which should be used. Our goals are development of our products and projects within Bashkortostan and outside, development of new products, creation of new products, in collaboration with other companies, and also participation in different development funds like
Вместе с нашими заказчиками, так и
discussed today, together with our customers and separately with each participant. I'd like to tell several words about input substitution just because it's one of the main goals of most enterprises in the sphere of digitalization. All the major tasks are stepped back now because we have no foreign providers now, especially those customers who worked here for quite long period of time, for dozens of years. Right now they're cancelled. And what should we do? How should we replace?
софта и так
They
далее.
be replaced
В принципе, в этом году
by our domestic products.
так провели
This year we conducted
достаточно плотную
analysis
российскими
with our
производителями. Здесь вот мы
Russian
представлены там
producers.
небольших частей там, значит, компаний,
Here
с кем
we have
соглашение, с кем
one
работаем, мы
small
уже
part
выделяем
with whom we have already worked,
предприятий, заказчиков.
who create solutions for different enterprises.
Таких, скажем так, ресурсов.
That's one of the resources which we have. The second resource is about our companies who are involved into our association. You can see on the slide the QR code
Да, и попасть на каталог
for further details of the register of our solutions which we have.
ассоциации есть
Among our participants, we have developers of communication, telecommunication technologies. We have Lexema company,
систем Российской Федерации.
which
Может,
is included into top 5 companies, which could work as a substitute for sub R3.
которые занимаются внедрением
There are also companies which introduce
дела, да, это
the
компания
document turnover, MediaLux. We also have producers with wire systems.
СКС, Волсов и так далее. Есть компании,
We
которые
also have company which works with
Мы как
key system
диалог мы подобрали
for dialogue
сгруппировали линейку
has chosen
на базе
everything which is connected to automatization, a wide range of companies for it.
и другие
For example, Yakagawa, other vendors left our market. That's why we need to make a change. We also created a demo zone on our platform
всей ассоциации
in order to be used by the whole association. Of course, the main goal is to show our customers working solutions
аппарат
which are connected with program complexes which you need to try to use.
за этот год мы
Within this year, we showed more than 70 solutions, 12 of which became pilot for customers.
заказчикам нашим. Вот.
Customers bought them.
Более актуальные темы, которые вызвали большой
The most burning questions right now are
аналоги на российском решении, это центр
different substitutes for the centers of data managing and analysis, how to
инженерных систем, обеспечение вентиляции кондиционеров,
switch from foreign to domestic
заканчивая
solutions, also about the internal data
программным обеспечением.
and software.
В году большой актуальный
This
вопрос
year,
стоит
one of the crucial questions which was raised as the defense system
Мы знаем, что вот в связи с последними
due to the
событиями этот вопрос,
last
скажем так, наиболее активно
events in the world. This question
у нас очень много
became burning.
категорийных объектов
We have
республики, ну и
a big amount of objects
добычи, мосты,
which are connected mostly with oil and gas industry, which should be
актуальные системы для
supported, it should be
ну, естественно, информационные.
safeguarded. And of course, informational
Заключение хочу показать вот
defense too.
такое небольшое решение,
I
оно
would like to show you one of the solutions,
наших пилотов, которые
one of our pilots which we designed today.
зрения, вот, там есть такие установки, где
You can see such
значит,
equipment
ходил, соответственно,
where the person could go,
смотрел, там вот такие пузыри,
watch at it. There were bubbles,
оценивал там
kind of reaction,
пузырей,
and you assess the size of these bubbles,
корректировки в управлении.
and then
Вот, и все это делалось вручную.
notified which changes should be done in this or that equipment. So we made a solution to place the camera which could detect and calculate the solution by itself
Данные установки наиболее эффективны.
in order to make it more effective.
Экономические эффекты налицо, то есть
So you can see that
в том плане, что меньше
the work became more effective, less failures,
плавность, то есть постоянно
and
процесс
the
регулирования
process became immense.
в непрерывном режиме. Вот. Поэтому
So
что-то подобное мы делаем.
that's the way how we work. If there are any questions
Компания, не
or
если вам нужно
any tasks, you can address us. If you need 50,000 people, right now we have 1,000 in our company, so you can call us.
штатов, мы с удовольствием
It's
поработаем на благо наших
already formed team, so we are ready to work for our country and for its prosperity. Thank you very much.
Кирилл, спасибо за доклад.
Thank you for your speech.
Тебя позволю, коллеги.
I would like to ask one question. Kirill, which mechanisms do you have for entering your association? It's quite simple. The company should
компания,
have
зарегистрированная в Республике Башкортостан,
the IT structure, so it should be an IT company which wants to develop, to grow, and which has some experience solutions which could be included into our portfolio, or maybe some feedback
знает и скажет, я этих
of the participants of our association who could tell something about this company. Because we build our trust and we take responsibility for our participants too. and this responsibility is mutual.
Двигаемся дальше. Еще раз нашу повестку общую сфокусируем. Мы обсуждаем
Once again, I would like to mention that our agenda is digitalization and reality, and we are talking about last trends.
вопросам,
That's
вопросы к докладчикам, да? Это как
the issue which should be supported by our speakers and also in our questions. How should we build up these stories and become successful within the situation which we have right now? I'd like to give the floor to Viktor Yerevantsev, founder of Finch Technology Ltd. So the topic of his speech is VR technologies. Quite an interesting speech was quite before me. I would like to tell briefly about my company. My name is Victor. I'm the founder and CEO of Avi Systems, which is based in Ufa. Historically, we were represented as Finch company on foreign market, just because we supplied VR equipment.
Samsung, Huawei,
We had among our customers HTC, Huawei, and so on. All those who were involved into designing of VR products, we provided ready solutions or made analysis of some parts of their solutions. We nowadays see that right now we need Russian solutions for VR in Russia, just because it is used for business tasks. And right now we transfer everything to the domestic market and prepare the whole set of products, including software registered as Russian product, and also manufacturing would be on the territory of Russia. Talking about novelty of VR and AR technologies, I could say that the growth is quite fast. It's very popular. Of course, the greatest share is in China, for example, on the foreign market, but Russia also becomes one of the main customers, just because it's included into the top priority tasks for our country. Where we could use these technologies, of course, they have dual usage, not only for battles, for unmanned aircraft. The bulk of it is civil. It's for the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Elimination for schools, medical services, and of course, state corporations. The third segment is about customers. It's quite close to us, the main growth driver of international market, because it's about events, contents, leisure. I think that Russia has its own path, and it's quite right, just because they train the employees, increase the quality, and after that only enters the market. Of course, it's mostly about the solution of typical tasks. It reduces risks for health.
And when you work some events in virtual reality, the automation of some events is increasing. So it doesn't require to use real equipment in order to learn to use and to work in certain conditions and situations. The second scenario of use is professional one. It's what solves the tasks of state corporations. It's working out typical operations without being in place. So you can send the remote robot to work with the help of helmet. Maybe it's kind of a dangerous conditions of work for people. So it's working about the sequence of actions, group actions or individual actions, in some extreme situations. Oil and gas companies usually use these features. When you simulate the station, there's kind of a scenario happening, and a group of people in virtual reality, they take some steps, decisions in order to avoid the consequences that are not really good for the life and health of people, and to reduce the expenses for stopping the process. And it shows a huge economic effect from implementation, because one of our customers totally bought out the development of this simulator due to the fact that they stopped having the break of line in production of cables, and the analysis of actions of employee and giving certificates. So first, before giving certificate, the employee goes through all the steps in the simulator, then his actions are analyzed and assessed, and after that the person can get access to real equipment. And next scenario is educational one. It's about schools and institutes. This helps to visualize and deepen the student into the process. We all know in school there are some subjects where you are told in theory how to give first aid, how to cross the street, and in this case we can use the virtual reality technologies, and we can deepen the student or the schoolboy, schoolgirl into the reality and tell him what we can do, what we cannot do. In all these cases, they've been used in the market of Russia, and the problem is that the equipment that is used, it's the imported equipment. So it's the equipment of our clients that we gave license, and they supplied it to Russia. And right now, our task is to substitute this equipment. And since we have all the works on intellectual property, technological experience, we're planning to do that. We have understanding what kind of products, what kind of kits we need. And in 2023, or in the mid next year, we're planning to supply our own kits to substitute in all the spheres I named. And of course, we have our production line, and we are open for communication. I think I met the timing, so if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer. Dear colleagues, have questions?
Вот с точки зрения отечественного рынка.
From the point of view of local market, what potentials, what trends do you see? Of course, we understand the production of your own equipment, but in general, the appearance of what trends do you see on the VR market and ER technologies? Yes, as you mentioned, we are solving a more hot topic, so to say. It's going to consumer segment, so everything that is connected with socialization. This modern word, fashionable word, meta-universe. So this is a trend which is inevitable and will come. It's a new format of video conferences, video calls, but with the effect of presence. And I can tell you, on my experience, you get this real feeling of presence and personal meeting within the current state of development of technology. So I believe that is the trend where it will move towards. Next question? Unfortunately, I can't hear the question. Are you planning to open a shop of meta-universe like Zuckerberg opened? I visited this shop. It's a kind of a new trend. Maybe you have this plan in Bashkortostan. There are some plans to do virtual shop of meta-universe and conference halls, and we have partners who can solve these questions. One of the tasks that we have today is that when we see the picture, the whole picture and the problems that there are on the market, and we have technological partners that we can make together one market where the client can come and get the product of full line. We're not only planning to make equipment, we also interested in developing software applications, application shops of Meta Universe. So it will be ready solution.
Буквально, да.
I have another question.
Получается,
Victor, so
а вот, ну, про тренды спросили. Сейчас вот
we had a question concerning trends.
направление обучающих комплексов.
So educational complexes is being developed right now of industrial simulators. So it's a good market for you, I believe. I represent the company. I will later catch you up. We're also launching production and development of such automated educative complexes. So I think the helmet can be kind of an addition to the education, so that education would go more effectively. Yes, let's communicate. Yeah, thank you very much.
Но здесь как раз история,
Today we have a story that is what is happening in a dialogue, questions, answers. So it's a business week, colleagues. That's the week where you can meet, sign contracts, agree about future perspectives. Let's move on. I invite the next speaker, Timoshin Victor, General Director of Lexema Company. And the topic of his report is the experience of commercial success.
Добрый день.
Good afternoon.
Я построил свою презентацию
I made my presentation so that to help
IT-предпринимателям.
IT entrepreneurs.
Цель презентации.
The aim of presentation is to show our experience through the problems that we passed, how we solved them, in order to merge into the market. Of course, I understand that each company has its own issues, and our experience cannot be applied 100%, but maybe someone would find it useful. So the product that I'm going to talk about, it's the platform. We started creating it 3 years ago, and I need to say that we are the company that's been working for many years in the field of business process management. We have a system that we're growing for many years, and 3 years ago we decided to start creating our own RPA platform. And I need to say that immediately we received a certain help from the support institutions. We got a subsidy from the Ministry of Industry and Trade of the Russian Federation for creation of this product, and later on we got the grant for commercialization of this project. And these two events, so to say, helped us a lot in the financial terms to reach some results. Maybe not really gigantic, but very satisfactory. I will say a few words a little bit about RPA technologies, because not everyone understands it quite deeply. RPA, it's a platform that allows to create program robots, and they can perform some routine work on computer. They can manipulate with data, including the usage of users' interfaces and traditional integrative tools that we used previously. We believe that robots can create a certain revolution. They're doing it already, compared to the scales of in field of management as automatization. When the deep robotization of business processes will change drastically the model of management of an enterprise, because a lot of business processes will be automated and will change the quality of work of the enterprise. Everything becomes reliable and fast and cheaper, of course. Now let's speak about the starting conditions. When we entered this project, we were a company with some experience. Our system was used by a lot of large enterprises, and we thought it would help us. We had highly qualified specialists in staff, about 70 program developers, but we were a regional company. All our life we lived in Bashkortostan. Our clients were large Bashkir companies like Bashneft and Umpu. We had some sales outside the region, but they were quite accidental, non-systematic. We didn't build a kind of a marketing system. Somebody found us from other regions accidentally, bought the system by chance, let's put it this way. And in order to in order to move this product as RPA to the market, we need to build a system of targeted marketing, and we didn't have this system, and we didn't have any kind of experience of systematic sales outside the region. We didn't have sales department, and our competitors were with more financial opportunities. What we have achieved as a result? Some dozens of first sales started to work with us. The first sales, I mean, the fact that after the first sale, usually there appear a chain of consecutive sales, and if organization starts to work with us, usually it continues to work with us, and one project follows after another. We managed to build a system of sales outside the region. Out of these dozens of sales, more of them was with the companies, with Russian companies, not Bashkir companies. We had sales to huge holdings that can be large-scaled, and we hope to the growth of our businesses, such companies as United Engine Building Corporation, Shipbuilding Corporation, Severstal, and the volume of sales increased drastically, and we start working on the Indian market. Well, at least we had the first partnership agreement. Now, what tools, what mechanics worked? We did a lot of different attempts, and not everything that we've done was effective. And on this slide, I highlighted what really worked, that gave the results. First is the accelerator free. We would change the style, the mindset. We were very strong software developers, but not marketologists. But marketing is a very complex field, and it's a bit easier than program developing, but you need to know a lot. And since our company was famous for very strong software developers, we didn't have any competences in marketing, and pumping us through the accelerator was the fastest way to get these competences, at least partly, and that launched our process. And then the second is grant for commercialization. Not only the fact that we got additional money, it's also the frames. When we work with grants, we have two advantages. One of them is additional finances, and the second is very often we postpone our aims, but when we sign the agreement with the grant, we have to work all the obligations out that we took and all the responsibilities. That helps us a lot to the project as well, and it helped in our case, really. And it's maybe 50-50 if our obligations were an important, were not less important motivator than the money we received.
Мы
And
построили систему.
we built the system work for marketing and sales. We created our marketing and sales department that we didn't have previously. And of course, we managed to involve the staff, the marketing values, and people started to get, they started understanding deeper the problematic of sales, and the products became more market friendly, so to say.
Виктор, у нас минута.
Victor, we have 1 minute left. Yeah, I'm finishing.
Точка, в которой мы
So the point where we are right now currently, we are developing ecosystem of our products. It's our big platform. It's one of the element, and we are developing our partnership network outside Russia.
готов ответить.
I'm ready to answer all your questions if you have.
Вот здесь так сангажирую вопросы, которые
Here I would like to accumulate all the questions which could be right after the
коллеги можете
roundtable. You could come directly to the person and ask about the cashback, the money, the practical expertise, and you can discuss it with Victor directly.
следующего
Before I'll give the floor to the next speaker about IT, there are a lot of colleagues who share their stories. I would like to make such an idea, a program, introduce it, and then get money from it for its profitability to our country. Right now we have support measures for development of startups. We could reach financing for marketing and promotion. The reason is to find this idea, to create it, and to make it work. Right now I would like to give the floor to Alexander Gavrilov. He will tell us about the directions of research for business interests. What are the life hacks and how you can use it? Good afternoon, dear colleagues.
Я как раз слушал
I've listened
предшествующих мне докладчиков.
previous speakers and thought that would be nice to give the information about the
докладов
market interests.
этим закончить, потому что многие
And now I see that it's good to finish the story with it, just because the up-to-date trends, challenges, and tasks were already announced by my colleagues. We know where we should go. Right now, we'll fix it, and I'll tell a bit more about us and about our developments in this
области.
field. Who are we? We are
В стране пока треть
electronic
из 8 федеральных площадок.
sales platform. Each year we have more than 7.5 trillion rubles,
Площадки, собственно,
which is converted on the platform. We try to automatize the processes of supply, and we went further. We reunited with a big company, Gazprom Oil Supply. It's a big IT integrator with a volume of purchases more than 300 billion. We decided to introduce and automatize everything in the sphere of sales. Our company is quite big. It's included into top 500 on the volume of income. And they are all at different stage of digitalization now. We studied them, engrossed in them, in their wishes, and I would like to present the report on it. I must say that all the reports, all the challenges could not be covered right now just because there are a lot of them. We have decided to take our specification connected with supply, and in the framework of it, I show you the report. We've studied more than 90 companies, included into top 100, divided them into different fields to find what's the most popular field now. We have here energy, construction, car designing, transport, and so on. We conducted interviews, we studied them, and found out what do they need in order to automatize all the chains and conduct the processes with their suppliers. You can see on the slide what is essential. These answers we received from all the companies we studied. We also worked with several consulting companies, used their articles, scientific journals, and also direct interviewing with all the companies enlisted. You can see that. Sorry, I'd like to open the slides in my notebook too. The majority of respondents thought that they need to increase transparency. Then we have simplification of that business processes, but only 10%. Out of that bracket, there are also economy of labor resources. I need to say that financing economy is not included into top. For giant companies, it's not that necessary. They have other significant issues to work on and to focus. For creation and introduction of technologies, for example, centralization of processes, elimination of failures. Of course, we also have it, but we have a great list of it, but the top is presented on the slide. I'd like to show it just in order to focus the attention of representatives of IT companies. These are the questions which should be solved. So you will get the point if your product could solve these issues too. Further on, you'll see the slide which shows the interconnection of overturn of the company. The bigger the company, the higher the stage of its digitalization. The bigger the company, the more processes which have started earlier. Are included into the digital transformation on the day-to-day basis. They have a confirmed plan for 3, 5, or even 10 years on digital transformation, and IT understands how the ecosystem of the company, manufacturing company, could be modernized. I would like to draw your attention to the first steps. All the companies are involved into the process. Only 9-10 processes are not ready. They didn't start it. The smaller this pyramid would be, the more companies would not enter it. What is already automatized and what we can automatize right now? It's marketplaces, different sales platforms, market systems, where you could interact with counter agents. So we have some of the processes implemented right now. The casualties and digitalization is working with claims just because it's difficult to structurize different types of claims. For example, voice claims. Of course, we know how to do it, and there are companies which can work with it. But to make it more standardized, it's a bit difficult. in the framework of a joint company. That's why it's a bit postponed. Naturally, it's also connected with
Все окей, это рынок предлагает море.
document turnover within the company between different departments of customer. We have no ready solutions for it. It's mostly by the order for creation and integration. We cannot truly digitalize this process right now. We have 1 minute. You know, I have prepared several cases, which are the most interesting, which could give you the understanding
Как мы работаем, да? То есть
how we work on different issues.
давайте другое. Давайте вот это.
Let's choose another one, if you have not that much time.
Объем запасов на
So, changing of supply of money
отсутствует
reduce the volume of reserves for 5 billion of rubles. So purchasing for the whole company
покупается каждый по потребностям.
is conducted without
Соответственно,
searching for warehouse.
или
For
низкий
example, right now, there could be reserves for more than 25 billion of rubles, and they do not know what to do with it.
сервис
We introduced the service for reserve to relocate the odds and ends.
номенклатуру в дочках. Вот,
We added all the documents there
закупки
and built up the purchase only after checking the warehouse
компания
and relocating
свои неликвиды на 20%.
of non-liquids, and they have reduced it for 25%. Some of the things were already involved. Some of them were
НВИ, МТ.
sold out after that.
Здесь работа такая непростая, она требует
The work was quite complicated because it needs analysis. It's connected with our case.
слайдику.
I would like to turn back to other slides. Can I use 1 more minute instead of questions? These are the restaurants which were announced by our colleagues. Economical, input substitution, and technological trends.
цифровой трансформации.
Those departments on digitalization of information lead to planning for 5-7 years. It's quite normal that you will have such big questions. The opportunity to have the monitoring, the supervision of the project by themselves, they could plan it as their own function right now.
Дальше требования гибкости в
The
подходе.
next,
Вот это
requirements and the way how it would be conducted. The bigger the company,
in-house, on-premise, себе
the
безопасностью и
more they choose in-house solutions. The next is
потому что бизнес-процессы
fast
и если компания
ability to change the solution. We need to react their updates the faster they can. If you cannot, they'll choose another one. Integration with all the systems of enterprise. Of course, we would like to have one ecosystem, and small solutions do not attract that much attention because everyone prefers one for everything. As for input substitution, I'd like to transfer all the objects for Russian software. Everyone knows it and talks about it. Right now, we have the opportunity to replace foreign software. Can I open the last slide about robotics? For the further 5 years, it would be a burning trend. And the sphere of unified platforms, too.
Спасибо вам большое.
Thank you very much. It's international trends and digitalization of purchases. They're quite blurred, but we understand them and build up our solutions in accordance with these trends. That's all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Коллеги, двигаемся.
Colleagues, we need to move forward.
Завершает
And the last speaker today, quite a good speech, kind of sum up of the IT industry. We'll listen to Анжела Валиахметова, CEO of Vsoft, about the digital consulting, the perspectives and advantages of them. I'd like to greet everyone here. It's nice that all the speakers have already presented everything. And right now, I will sum up everything, just because consultants, consulting agents, they do not plunge into the processes in all the fields, but we can find the 10 trends which are common for all the companies. Talking about transformational processes, I'd like to tell a joke about the surgeon to the specialist for car mending, who comes in a day, the car is not ready, the second day, the car is not ready, the third day, the car is not ready. And he said, I cannot do it. I have a question. I have a similar job, but I earn less. And he answers, try to do it with the motor running. How all the transformational processes are conducted within your company? Do you make it as a separate case, or you do this transformation in the classical manner?
So you have to define and choose the strategy with the less steps in the chess game to get the effect that you want. Because many of the speakers today named 3 factors. It's speed, quality, and the cost. How to get these 3 parameters in less steps? So you need certain strategies. Not to think about it is, I think, with the consideration of what we have right now, you can take the cycles of Kondratiev for understanding in what techno set we have, how many industrial revolutions. We had 4 industrial revolutions. Right now we have the 6th techno set, and who is in the 5th, who is in the 4th? Somebody moved to the 7th techno set, and somebody is still at the 4th. And you have to define with, yes, this is the sphere of consulting was moving the same steps, same stages as the Industrial Revolution. You have to define what technologies you're going to use. You have to define where you are and what technologies you have that have the features of the 6th techno set. And coming from this, you have to build strategies concerning IT consulting. Look, the sphere, the income for consulting companies in the field of IT over 2021 makes the biggest share. So all the companies do the digitalization, and all the solutions are necessary for everyone. And here we have a question. And here I told you how it becomes more easy to improve the consulting. So to make it faster, I want to give you an example of digital solutions that the consulting companies can give that look at the process as general. And the speakers told here, do you know our foundation? Do you know that foundation? Do you know that thing, or this solution? If we are a startup, if we coming to the market for the first time, where can we find the benefits? Where can we find state support? to get ratings, because state support, you know, it's kind of a number of solutions. It's just the shell for business, for everyone. It's a kind of a system to launch the so-called business course, and our clients can orient faster in these solutions. We decided to create this system. This system are created by everyone right now, and the state government, governmental bodies and regional bodies and banks and different consulting companies, so that the business could navigate what measures exist. And flying over the country, seeing all the regions, all the companies that could present it. After 2 years of development, we have a digital solution ready. You can check the QR code and navigate practically in all the measures of tax benefits that we have in Russian Federation, that practically all the subjects in Russian Federation can offer. We're dealing with the same questions in the sphere of state support, so there won't be any questions of where the business can orient fast and understand what do they need for his region. At least there are two parameters that more or less we understand what spheres stimulate, what spheres are stimulated because of national interests and by the state bodies or foundations. And here it's very important to aggregate for as our service, our consulting companies, so that it would be easier for people to orient, and they can start the business fast and deep into the cores of business. So I wish everyone to go through these stages smoothly and faster in Russia, because as experts say, the sphere of management solutions, because many people spoke about that, they're not highlighted into commercial realization. We are still at the 4th stage of TechnoSat, when our competitors are in the 6th or 7th TechnoSat. So that parameters are very critical for understanding. And when we speak that only Rosatom needs 5,000 specialists, so we need 5,000 more. And some of the solutions, they repeat themselves. I ask the participants to collaborate, not to double it, but to shift the competitiveness to some kind, to another level, you know. And as we understand it, it's very important for business today. And that's it, dear colleagues. Thank you very much. Here, summing up your report and today's agenda, if we look, I have a feeling, I will share my opinion, the market of this sphere is in the state of you know, very tensed. When we have, you know, the loaded gun, but when we put the bullet, we have the resource, we have energy, and total expectation of IT sector, business sector today, is that so that energy would combine in some kind of a common request for implementation. We have directions for study, for business requests concerning analytics. We have resources that can help to understand what is the stage of digital transformation. So, colleagues, thank you for the work in this section, and I give floor to Ruslan on the rewarding the winners in the nomination of smart guys. I ask everyone to stay here so that you can see, you can look at the young guys. So I will name them and the topic of their project, and if you're interested in the topic of the project, maybe I can ask you to take some mentorship over these smart guys. Maybe they also have this desire, because they're not only smart young men, but very rich as well, because very soon they will have the sum of 500,000 rubles that they need smartly spent. So I have an offer to all the business who works with people, with young people, So a person has $500,000, his personal money, but you can offer him additional money according to your competence, like 100,000 rubles, and offer him to work together. And this is my deepest desire, because these guys, they lack some experience of spending their resources, their money, their time, and in this case, their way to success would be faster. And we move to the award ceremony. I think the diplomas will be given by the Deputy Minister of Industry, Energy and Innovations, Denis Gurkov, and I will read the names and somebody will help us to give diplomas. So the guys come out. Can I get the microphone?
Добрый день.
Да, торжественная процедура награждения умников.
The process of awarding smart guys in the Republic of Bashkortostan is open. We invite Abdulina Nuria. She has a project, development of new test system for express diagnostics. This is a disease that is spread from animals to people. And how much money you can earn on that? I think a lot. So Nuria said briefly that you can earn a lot of money here. So we congratulate you. Are you in Ufa? Yes, I am from Ufa. Our project has no analogs in Russian market, practically. And the foreign markets, there are some competitors, but they don't meet the tasks that we set, so that the detection of the viruses that can be spread from the animal to human. Thank you, Nuria. That was elevator pitch. Thank you very much. Why I'm asking about the city? Because we have guys from Stерлитамак as well and from other cities. Bigbulatov Shamil. Okay, Bigbulatov Shamil. He will develop thermocatalysts conversion of the secondary benzines. They have a short speech. Yes. How much money you can earn? 500,000. Right now, there's a huge problem in the field of oil refining, because 80–85% of oil is just refined, when in Europe or in the USA, this figure is 90–95%. And our catalyst can help partly solve this problem. What partners do you need? We're working with companies like Rosneft, Bashneft. We don't have Rosneft and Bashneft. We have. We will speak later with him as well.
Да, спасибо большое.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulate you. Bogdan Galetskov. Please come up here. He's developing a program software for management of smart cameras, lens brains. What is that, and how much money you will earn? We don't need anyone. We will earn a lot of money. And what is this? It's the diploma. Okay, got it. Thank you. Congratulations. We'll wait you in 1 year with money. Davlechin Filus, do we have? Yeah, he's running over there. He's developing thermo-hydrodynamic simulator for identifying parameters of the hydrocrack. Good afternoon. My software is aimed at software in the oil and gas industry, and it was import dependent, and we are developing our own software to solve all these tasks by ourselves in oil and gas industry. So you want to substitute Schlumberger, right? I know that these developments are very interested. Yeah. Yevstigniev Vitaly is absent, and Ilalov Azamat. He is developing and is going to produce DEMFAs, well, new generation DEMFAs. Telfers, sorry. A few words about it. Telfer is a lifting equipment that is installed on the crane in the workshop to move the loads, equipment. I will sell it, this Telfers of a new design. And the first year, judging by the interested people, I will earn 4 million rubles. My partners are the companies that sell metalworks, who have storehouses. So we cooperated with Gazprom, Rosneft, and hope we will develop. We need customers. Thank you very much.
Kekin Alexander Viktorovich.
Alexander Kekin.
Alexander Viktorovich разрабатывает высокий...
He's developing high-efficiency aviation DC-DC transformer on commutative condensators. What is DC-DC? There was another band, musical band. It was AC-DC. There would be an equipment, DC-DC transformer. We plan to use it in the aviation sphere, in the system of alternator starters. And the implementation is planned through my enterprise that I work with. So the enterprise will help you. Yeah, thank you.
Кильдияров Данил Жаватович.
Кильдияров Данил.
Здесь.
He's here. He has developed technology, additive production of electric equipment.
Где, на чем, как, что.
Where, how.
Type
is very actively developing, and my technology will allow to produce boards on 3D printers.
Кобзов Данил Вячеславович.
Кобзов Данил.
Данил Вячеславович разрабатывает
He's developing hybrid unit for agricultural machinery. So what did you combine? First of all, we congratulate you. Tell us briefly. Well, as you know, we are striving for electrification of the transport, and we will aim as well and expand. What will you produce? Hybrid engines for... Do you have a picture?
Спасибо большое. Матюнина Виктория Дмитриевна.
Матюнина Виктория.
Дмитриевна разрабатывает формулу.
She's developing formula of biotreatment compatible with herbicides to increase the sustainability of crops. Yes, our solution is aimed at to decrease the load on agricultural territories. It solves environmental problem and solves the problems with food, and it increases the productivity. And we were still pending some experiments. Muhamedyanova Firuza. She will develop import substituted technology in the content of the soft cheese with the help of goat milk or sheep milk.
Да, конечно, это будет разрабатываться. Мой проект направлен.
Yes, it will be developed. So my project is aimed at increasing the range of soft cheese.
Невоструев Иван Григорьевич с разработкой
Невоструев Иван with the development of unmanned flying vehicle used in storehouses. Our unmanned vehicle is used to optimize the storehouses and to find position of the goods. And right now we won the grant for unmanned vehicle. We have an investor, and we will deal with the complex with another device. So it's the application for storehouse management. It's aimed for any enterprises having storehouses. So it's a kind of a comfortable and easy to use system. It will be with a very high potential of commercialization in our market and abroad, but we don't have a certain experience because only one company is dealing with UVL robotics, yes. And abroad, there are some startups that appeared only 3 years ago. So we'll study this market.
Thank you very much. Обух Федор. Sorry, I also need to name Nikandrov Artem. Right now, Fedor has developed equipment for turbo generators. So this solution will reduce failures and will increase the automatization of the process, not only to switch on and switch off the generator, but also to make the communication between devices and predict the failures, breakages, and will help to save millions for all the companies on changing and replacement of equipment. Right now, we work on theory of the sport, and it would be presented as a mathematic model. Design of the equipment would be a bit later. Nikandrov Artem. We have barely forgotten about you. Right now, works with the stable magnets fixation equipment. So the equipment is working on increasing of effectiveness and simplifying the process on the companies. As for monetary, also the increase in quality and quantity of money too. Rukov Ramil, the next. Ramil is working on the methodics of the complex interpretation of data of geophysical system of wells with the usage of mathematical formulas. From Oil and Gas University. Maybe we need to add him 500,000 too. Okay, we'll discuss it later. Yes. We're developing a software which would be import substitution because a lot of companies are leaving our market now. It will help to increase the quality of interpretations of the methods of research on wells, which will help to plan the wells properly in order to get more oil. Thank you very much. Saifulin Gleb. Gleb is coming. I would like to tell about his development, universal configure of measuring equipment. Sounds quite secret. Could you please share what is it about? I'd like to add that Russian market has no metric equipment with an efficient metrics equipment too. I would like to create the right configurator with the databases included. I'd like to find a designer for my website and app to my team. Thank you. Congratulations once again. Now, would like to introduce Lina, which develops the complex for drilling the wells. I would like to thank you for participation in this program. The development is dedicated to increasing the technical and economic rates and also conducting works without failures. It's a systematized complex where it's a software which will detect the parameters of well drilling and the main components in real time. We'd like to congratulate you. Thank you. We have 2 people left. Sidikov Ruslan. He hasn't come. And Yusufov Timur? Yes, he is here. We're waiting for you. Developing of a hybrid power technology for high-quality software systems. So we have mechanics, biotechnologists. So I would like to work with the engines and to transmit the energy like electricity does. That's the way how we could reduce these complicated systems of transferring the energy, which will help us to create a new complex. Maybe we'll see drones with high load density. We have a partner, the Ufa University of Russian Technologies. Thank you for attention. I would like to say that this story is the beginning of a big development work. Victor, who took the floor, previously was the same smart guy, and there were 4 guys who decided to reunite, find the investor, and right now are working on the international market. And they increase the cost of it right now. And I believe that you'll reach greater success. I'd like to get the floor right now. Of course, we would be proud of you. And we are proud of you right now because at that initial state, being that young person to get such significant grants is a great success already. And of course, we hope that you will implement all your wishes, not only reach your internal moral satisfaction, but also financial. Because each thing you start in financing too would also draw additional investments to our republic. I'd like to congratulate you all. So I think we need to close up this session and implement our wishes. Thank you very much.
Да, ребят, спасибо большое. Вообще, на самом деле, я половины не понял.
Thank you. Sorry, but I didn't understand half of the things mentioned, but I believe that your knowledge would be essential in the nuclear sphere of our country. So please, could you email me? is.lavrov@rosatom.ru or lavrov@yandex.ru. It's easy, written with V. We pay money for even scholarships.
Да, на самом деле, очень рад за вас.
I'm very glad and I'm very happy for you.